You all know the sound. The horrifying shriek of a 30mm GAU-8 Avenger cannon. And the reason tanks have trust issues. Alright, enough of the theatrics. Let's talk about the A-10 Warthog, yeah? So, if you're any kind of military plane enthusiast, certainly if you know what DCS is, then you know what the A-10 Warthog is. The A-10 Warthog has a pretty identifiable feature about it, and that would be its GAU-8 Avenger 30mm cannon. That is literally a gun with a plane built around it. So everybody knows about that. I had a thought, and I was wondering how the A-10 would fare as a carpet bomber. That's kind of a weird thought because everybody just wants to hop in the gun or use Mavericks or what have you, or do some laser guided bombing, but I thought it would be a fun idea to experiment with dropping a bunch of Mark 82s at once. So let's talk about that. On your left MFCD, you're going to navigate to DSMS, go to Profiles, switch to the Mark 82, view the profile, change it to Ripple Single, set the nose fuse, set the ripple quantity to 12, and then we're going to put them at 50-foot increments to give a good carpet bombing effect. Once you've done that, change it to CCRP and save it, and then you're good to go. I've got some super helpless transport vehicles down there that we are going to line up on. So currently we're moving towards the target. We're going to wait till our little football hits the middle of our symbology, and then we're also going to hold the weapon release button. And once you're on target, that should look something like this. I think we can all agree that that was really cool, but that's not historically what the A-10 has been used for, like especially in theaters like Iraq and Afghanistan. The major use of the A-10's bombing prowess really fell like to precision guided bombing, so that's like a lot of JDAMs and a lot of laser guided munitions. So what I just did wasn't really historically accurate, but it really was cool, and now you know how to do it in DCS. Let's talk about the strategic differences between carpet bombing and precision bombing. However, before we get into the historical aspect of precision versus carpet bombing, I'm going to show you how to drop a 2,000-pound laser-guided bomb in DCS. We're going to do something similar. We're going to go to our GBU-10, change the fuse and nose, CCRP. Then we're going to go into change settings, auto lays on, set that bad boy for 10 seconds, and then save it. Next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find your target in your right MFCD using your targeting pod. Which, there we go, when we see our group of tanks there, ready to take this GBU-10 to the face. Just like with the Mark 82s, we're going to turn in, line up that pipper, and hold the weapons release button. And that'll look something like this.
Pull up, pull up. Pull up, pull up.
So now you've kind of seen the practical differences of precision versus carpet bombing. So now let's look at the historical aspect of it. Back in World War II, accuracy meant getting your bomb somewhere on the same map as your target. It's kind of crazy. The strategy was called carpet bombing. You just basically drop thousands of bombs over a wide area and hope something important gets destroyed. So in World War II specifically, you have cities like Dresden, Tokyo, and Berlin. Those were all leveled, essentially, in this time period. It worked by brute force and came with a lot of horrific civilian losses. It's difficult to estimate exactly how many civilians died due to carpet bombing in World War II. According to sources like U.S. Strategic Bombing Survey and the Oxford Companion to World War II, it's estimated that roughly 700 to 900,000 people, civilians mind you, died as a result of carpet bombing. Now let's advance the technology a little bit. Let's talk Vietnam. The US still relied heavily on area bombing. You can think about this like B-52s dropping hundreds of bombs in like single runs. But technology really started to develop. So like at this point we were getting laser guided bombs. They showed up pretty late in the war, but regardless, that's around the time period of when we got them. It was at this point when pilots could start really targeting specific things like bridges instead of entire towns. This was technically the birth of smart weapons in warfare. By the Gulf War in 1991, precision bombing started to really take off. At this point, we had satellite guidance and laser designation that let our pilots take out things like command centers, bunkers, and tanks one by one, as opposed to just leveling an entire grid on a map. The world was beginning to see how laser-guided bombs and precision bombing shifts modern warfare. Precision-guided bombing brings fewer bombs, fewer sorties, and way fewer civilian casualties in comparison to carpet bombing in World War II. Since then, the difference between precision and carpet bombing is really more of a philosophical difference. Nowadays, we have drones and GPS-guided JDAMs that can strike single vehicles or single hardpoints from miles away. But when big wars flare up, like what we're seeing today in Iraq and Ukraine, mass bombardment, attrition bombing still is prevalent. Precision is ideal. Saturation and attrition bombing and carpet bombing is the fallback when the powers that be are seeking to inflict the most damage. That being said, there was your short history lesson on precision versus carpet bombing. I was thinking about doing something similar to this video, except for cluster munitions and their psychological, ecological, and philosophical issues, and how that developed throughout history. If that's something you're interested in, let me know. Anyways, thanks for giving me your time, and yeah, have a good day.